No, I had a really good time in LA. I was went to the Playboy Mansion for a party there in October. Yeah, that was I had a pretty good time. Yeah, yeah.
Now, it's really exciting that you're going to be doing all 50 states. And I'm telling you, when you come to
Yeah.
Missouri, you have to let me know because that's where I'm at. And I really,
Missouri.
yeah, Missouri, misery, I call it.
Okay. Okay. Now
Mis-
that's Kansas. So Kansas is in Missouri, yeah?
well, they're next to each other, and they're right next to each other. Kansas City's on the border between the two.
And now you guys you've had some pretty intense tornadoes
Yep.
down there. Is that right?
Well,
You're
now
you're right in Tornado Alley.
we are, and the weird thing is they're saying that now we had a couple of big floods, and ever since that, it's kind of changed our climate a little. We've kind of got what they call tropical weather here in the middle of the states, which makes no sense. But just last week we had winds doing about 95 miles an hour, and we got this incredible humidity. It's like 100% humidity. It's like you're down in the glades again, only you're not. You're in the middle of the country. It makes no sense, but here we are.
Right. So are you still getting the same sort of amount of tornadoes each year there?
Yeah, we do. And then, of course, with these hurricane winds, and on top of that, we've been getting just lots and lots of rainfall every year. It seems like we have nothing but floods every spring, and it's pretty weird. So it's not as bad as, some of the areas. Like I know, like when New Orleans flooded, they had like the alligators and everything. We don't have that. But man, we have buildings that go completely underwater.
Yeah, right, right. Because I actually was studying tornadoes for a lot of my youth, and I always planned to go to the US and chase these things and study them and all the rest of it. Look, I do a lot of different things. Outback Zack, he's not just all about the wildlife. I was actually in Alabama, and you'll actually find this probably interesting. I heard, and I was rather intrigued that a UFO of proportional size was to be in Alabama last year, and I
Right.
think you had a guest on, Blossom Goodchild.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Now I actually flew there. I flew there to see this UFO. And
Wow.
I had my video cameras out. I mean, I was doing a lot of work down there for the Outback Zack series, but I said, right, this craft from the Galactic Federation of Light is apparently going to be here for 3 days. 3 days. All right, 3 days. I'll give it 3 days. So I had my cameras out. I was by this beautiful lake, lots of wildlife there. So I was spending my days during that. But I tell you, I had a sore neck by the end of the 3 days. I'm looking up and going, Jesus. And I'm looking at my watch. This is getting to be silly. I'm like, Blossom, come on. Where is it? 3 days.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was I was intrigued, and they stood me up.
Yeah, they stood her up. She wasn't too happy. As a matter of fact, I remember after that happened, she had a lot of hate mail. So I brought her back on the show and let her kind of tell her side of the story, so people would kind of get off her back a little. She was pretty shocked about the whole thing. She actually, she felt really bad. She said, "Look, I was told to give you the message. I gave the message, and now look, now I look like a fool, and people are being mean to me." But she doesn't understand why it happened or what happened, and I don't either. But I tell you what, that was a very interesting time, very controversial, and it was really an honor to be able to break the news and to bring her on. And
Yeah, right. Oh, she broke the news on Nightwatch, did she?
yeah, she did. Yeah.
All right. Oh, jeez. I hope you didn't lose any listeners.
No, no. As a matter of fact, it's really weird. Melbourne is so good to this show. We were on 1611 AM, and I was really surprised to find out how they marketed this show. I guess now you live there. I've never been to Melbourne. I've been wanting to go really bad, but I guess there are some clubs. I don't know if they're go-go clubs or strip clubs, what they are, but they took banners for the Nightwatch show to these clubs and said, for those of you that live by night, and they started marketing us on Saturday and Sunday evenings. We were late nights, and something happened, and the show took off, and people have been writing to me from Melbourne and Sydney ever since. And I'm like, wow, this is really cool. I've got some amazing friends that now I've met that live over down under, and that's really cool.
That's fantastic. So you're in strip clubs? Did you say?
Though they were, yeah, they said they put these banners in like go-go places or strip clubs or whatever the dancing places are that are around Melbourne there, and I guess their late night crowd goes in there, and we always use the tagline "Nightwatch," things that go bump in the night. So I guess it kind of clicked with them to do that. Now I would have never thought of that because I'm kind of a nerd myself. So whenever I found out that's what they did to market the show, I was like, oh my god! And then when it worked, I was like, wow, what a cool idea.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, you'd love Melbourne. You're more than welcome. Anytime I'm here, you can come and stay with me and my dog. There's no crocodiles where I am. So you'll be fine.
Yeah, there was a show up there called Haunted Australia. We met some people from there. They wanted to bring me up and do some fun stuff, and I told them, I said, as long as you let me like hang out with some kangaroos, because I've never been in the natural environment. We have some kangaroos here in the States in some of the zoos, and it's really weird because I've had encounters with them 3 times where, they're out in the open. You can kind of approach them. Well, my son, they're trying to box him. I mean, that was like a really something out of a movie because they literally started doing a dance and they were ready to fight. And with me though, they'll come right up and kind of hang out with me. And I took a baby one that they had in a pouch, and at one of the places I visited, and they said, well, it never comes out of the pouch, but if you want to hold it, we'll let you. And of course, I was excited to hold this baby kangaroo, and not only did it come out of the pouch, it wrapped right around my neck, and it was my buddy. I couldn't. It was like really crazy. They took to me really well, and I fell in love with kangaroos.
That's great. Yeah, look, they're Joeys are funny. Normally, when they're wild, they really stay away from humans. They really do. So if one has latched onto you, he must have detected he was safe with you. So that's a great thing.
That is awesome. I have the same thing with bats. I've got this,
Oh, really?
yeah, bats. There's a place, and when you're in the States, you may have already been there down in Austin.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't there for very long.
They had that 2.5 million bat colony there, and
Wow.
I'm the kind of guy everyone else is ducking and trying to watch their head. I throw on my baseball cap and stood on top of the highest fence I could find and reached to the sky trying to touch the bats, and it worked. I ended up with bats all over me, and then I ended up
You didn't get bat crap all over you as well, did you?
a couple of times, and that's really
There you go.
it's an interesting experience. But
If you dodged that, you've got Outback Zack skills.
that's right. I'm learning.